Gucci on the tag, you should peek my fashion campaign. Louis V this, Burberry that.
DFCRadio.com.
Feeling so high. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Roll up that hydro make me feel fine. Cook up that hydro make me feel high. Feeling so high. Chefs in the kitchen and they chopping up hydro. The hydro chefs
Welcome. It's 5 o'clock. The kitchen's open. I am the culinary ambassador for all things edibles. This is the Hydroponic Chef, your cannabis chef's favorite cannabis chef. I'm here to keep you entertained for the next hour or so. We got some edible reviews, some news, and interviews with some of the top brands in the industry. So sit back, relax. We're going to keep you entertained for the next hour. Let's get lit. We got a good show lined up for you tonight. And all you got to do is pay attention. So sit back. We got Green Holdings own, White Angels own, Freddie Saig coming on himself to keep you educated and medicated. But as always, we like to start off the show with some news. There's a lot of stuff going on in this world, and the Hydro Chef's here to keep you up to date on all things. Now, we're going to go out to a land of misery. To misery, I mean, where two businesses now finally are allowed to grow cannabis. So St. Louis, this is an article by Nassim Benchbane, and the two growers out of Missouri, Earth City-based Bayleaf Medical and Perryville-based Archimedes Medical Holdings, are the first Missouri businesses officially permitted to grow cannabis. The Bayleaf cultivation facility, oh man, they put their address out here. I'm not going to say that. But the inspection is the final step for both of these facilities to receive approval to operate in the state. The DHSS is tasked with regulating the state's new medical marijuana program. In all, about 60 commercial cannabis growing facilities are expected to operate in Missouri. This is a big step towards the patients in misery, and Lyndall Frankler, director of the Section for Medical Marijuana Regulations with the DHSS, wrote in Tuesday release that they know the quality patients are eager to see dispensary doors open up in the state, but they've had cultivators finally now able to grow and soon supply these other facilities is something that they are very pleased to see. Sales of cannabis were expected to begin sometime late summer before the facility inspections were delayed to help prevent the spread of coronavirus. So everyone being affected to that, from Missouri to California to New York. So let's go over to, while we're in hemp area, let's talk about some hemp. This happens to be some Canadian hemp. The first big tobacco firm in marijuana is seeking bankruptcy protection. This is an article from Kristen Nicholson, and Pyexis International, the first tobacco company that has entered into the U.S. hemp sector, filed for bankruptcy protection after the coronavirus pandemic dealt a financial blow to its operations. And it's Chad's leading Chad's is what I hear. But Mooresville, North Carolina, Pyexis filed a prepackaged plan to reduce the debt by $400 million and give control to a group of bondholders, according to the Wall Street Journal. So the Canadian marijuana operations Prince Edward's Island-based FIGR aren't part of the bankruptcy filing, and the company also grows hemp in the United States. Known as Alliance One International, Pyexis also they entered the cannabis industry in 2018 when it's seen purchases Canada's Island Garden and its 80% stake of Golden Leaf Farm. So at this time, the acquisition is one of 3 licenses producers chosen by the Canadian regulators to supply Prince Edward Island with cannabis, and Golden Leaf Farm had applied to become one of the licensed medical marijuana cultivators in Ontario, Canada. But with them, doing this bankruptcy, it's going to help them to be able to consolidate some of those funds, and that's when you get some of the investors involved. Less money, when in doubt, bankrupt it out. That's what they say. It worked for the president. So let's go over to Louisiana. We're sticking in the South, all right? So Louisiana is widening access to cannabis laws, and their new law starting in August, more doctors will be able to recommend medical marijuana for any patient they believe that it will help, not just those with major health issues, all right? Out of Baton Rouge, this significantly more residents will be able to have access to cannabis under the major expansion of the state's therapeutic cannabis program that Governor John Bell Edwards has signed into law. So a big clap to you, Governor, doing it for the right reasons, helping the right people, and they'll allow doctors to recommend medical marijuana patients to anyone they believe that it will help. And they will remove it from restrictions of things that doctors cannot recommend. And that's a huge step in the right direction, given all the people that need some good healing in Louisiana. And if you can't dig that, then you don't know nothing about New Orleans. Let's go up to Michigan for a minute. Yeah, you tell him, Saint. Good to be back, Saint. Back in the saddle again. I see you're quick on the sound today.
Yes, sir.
So up to Michigan, we got a recreational cannabis sales has finally topped medical cannabis sales for the first time in the state's history. Adult use sales in Michigan surpassed medical cannabis on a weekly basis for the first time since the state's recreational cannabis launched in December 1st, 2019. So according to mlive.com, recreational cannabis sales totaled 10.2 million between June 8th and June 14th, beating out the MMJ market of 9.97 million in sales for the same time period. So that's in a weekly period, y'all. It's a factor now. If you're not on this train yet, man, about to leave the station without you. You're either going to be with it or left behind. And this train right now, it started off kind of slow, you know, with the breeders in the community and the culture, you know, doing things behind the scenes. And then slowly, more and more people started getting on that train, and pretty soon they started feeding that motherfucker some engine oil, some motherfucking coal, and then it started a chugga, and now we're full steam ahead. 2020 legalization, choo choo, and then coronavirus hit. Oh shit, the fucking train tracks are gone. We're off the rails right now. It's a wild world. So in any other state making ways to make it possible for people to have cannabis right now, and this wild world that we're living in, I think is a great step in the right direction. So big ups to you, Governor, and big ups to you, Louisiana. And we can't always be in the positive. We got to talk about things that are unfortunate in this industry too. And we got to go to Illinois for a minute, because they've delayed cannabis dispensary licenses intended for minority entrepreneurs. And licenses were supposed to be issued at the end of May, but now aspiring entrepreneurs in the cannabis industry have to wait till August. And the budding entrepreneurs will have to wait at least another month to have and earn what they've won with one of 75 coveted dispensary licenses in the Illinois state. The licenses were supposed to be awarded on May 1st, but Governor J.B. Pritzker signed in an executive order at the end of April, indefinitely suspending the decision, citing difficulties related to coronavirus. Man, that's an excuse for everything right now. But hey, Illinois, you got to get your shit together. It's hard enough for people that have been held back in this industry and unlawfully targeted for this industry, and then made it harder to do business in this industry. Come on, Illinois. We ain't about that. That's the news. Hydro Chef approved. If you got anything you want to share with me, you want me to know about something, send that to my Instagram. You might get featured on the news. We got a good show lined up for you. It's a hard job out here, but somebody's got to do it. Someone's got to keep you entertained. And we're here to do that. DFZ Radio, and you can catch our replays on High Times TV too. We got a good show lined up. We're going to be talking about some subjects, some cannabis entrepreneurship. I'm talking about businesses and minority-run businesses starting in this industry. And man, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to get lit. Saint, you got the tree?
Yes, sir.
All right, we're going to get lit, and then we're going to come right back. We got our guest of the evening, Freddie Saeed from Green Holdings Group, White Angel, Hydro Chef approved, DFZRadio.com.
Yeah, look, you like the way I walk and how would G talk? Sagging what we peddling, Mr. Sing-a-low. Baby, you and me strolling on my block, sitting in the lag, drinking on some Hennessy. PYT, yeah, you pretty young thing. You looking right in them jeans, sexy brown skin. Now sit back and relax and let's ride out. with the top down. LB6
Baby,
style.
just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah. Shorty good, she lookin' right. She packin' fine. I look twice. Big thighs are real nice. Come to the crib, girl, and you can spend the night. Relax and feel your cup. Feel your cup. Twist this and take a puff. Tell your girl that it's on tonight, and tell her she can come through too for a little bump and grind. I hit it once, hit it twice. Got this little chick that'll let me just ride. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah.
Yeah, baby, come stroll with a player, with a G. I'm about to show you what I made of. Hennessy, let's see where it take us. Sour tea in my blood, and we laughing at the haters. As we switch the lane, I've never switched the game up. Rep the A before I came up, and never will I change up. So baby, let's ride. We can have the best time. Show you how the best ride and represent the West.
Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Baby, just you and me, cruising around town sipping Hennessy. If you wanna roll, then we take a stroll. You can just follow me. Yeah.
Drink in my cup, someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Side diesel in my blood, purple drink in my cup, someone tell the DJ, crank it on up. Yeah, crank it up, crank it on up, crank it up. Sour diesel up in my blood, purple drink up in my cup, crank it up, crank it on up. That's D, got me smoking the best, no stress cheese. Now hold up, now roll up. Check the situation, about to go nuts. With a little bit of perk up in my cup, you could tell the bartender to fill it on up. That's alright, baby, work your stuff, and that's all night, baby, work your strut. You and your friends can ride when I go. Take a little
DFZ Radio, back from our commercial break. We are live in effect, back in the saddle again, if you will. It's weird being out of the studio for a minute, and then you come back, and ain't damn nothing changed. I think it's the same old roach in the ashtray over there. Yeah, that is the same old roach from 4 weeks ago. Yep. So we are proud to introduce himself, Freddie Saig himself from Green Holdings Group and White Angel, featured guest of the evening, activist extraordinaire, time traveler. He wrestles professionally, and all-around good dude, very entertaining too. So a big Farm to Table Cannabis welcome to Freddie. Professionally, and all-around good dude, very entertaining too. So a big Farm to Table Cannabis welcome to Freddie.
Well, thank you. A real special thanks to Farm to Cannabis, the Hydroponic Chef, DFZ Radio, High Times TV. It's always an honor to be asked to speak and to, kind of have a platform to release some of this information that I gather along these time traveling.
That's it too. And I mean, it wasn't always that a time traveler like yourself was able to talk about this industry, and a lot of it was done behind closed doors, and there wasn't a lot of shared knowledge. And people that got licenses and that became successful didn't really want to share some of those trade secrets. But what comes with this evolution of the industry are people with the wisdom like yourself that are able to help some of the other entrepreneurs that look up to find a way to make a way out of this wild cannabis industry. So let me ask you this to the entrepreneurs out there, that don't know about Green Holdings, and this is their first time being introduced to you. What is it that the Green Holdings is established as the brand managing, and then how are you able to help people further their brands using that platform?
Sure. So to give the answer of Green Holdings Group, we got to go back into the time travels and into a time and place that kind of lays a little bit of foundation on how it's come to be where it's at. But essentially, 15 years ago, I became a licensed attorney, and my primary space was in the criminal defense world. And then more and more and more, it gravitated towards cannabis. So before Instagram or anything like that, no one announced themselves in the cannabis industry. As a matter of fact, the most successful people back then were the guys who never got caught or was never made a bail of. I mean, the
ones that were quiet.
The ones that were quiet. And so what would happen is I would get introduced to guys in the industry in handcuffs, you know what I mean, or be running up to a raid or something like that. And as Proposition 215 began to develop and kind of flourish, we saw cannabis not just as a industry for the criminal justice system, but we were able to utilize Proposition 215 to build some form of structure, some little bit of protection. And these brands came, or the people came to my office from handcuffs. Then how do we prevent handcuffs? Then how, now you have a brand. I know you don't have IP, but there's stuff to it. And they went from criminal potential business, real business, and into.
Hold on one sec. Talking to the mic, it's cutting out a little bit.
And
there we go. We'll switch that mic around. Switch the mic around. There we go. Freddie, I'm going to pause you for 1 second, okay? We got a caller coming in too, and we also got a microphone issue. We might have to switch your microphone around. Yeah, that's better. Saint, put him on hold for a second. Thank you, buddy. Solid, and that's the magic of live radio.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can hear you way better now.
I brought the headphones thinking that would help, but if this works, this is better for me too.
That's solid. Cool. Great. We don't want you getting hung up on the mic.
Yeah. Sometimes I get hung on the mic.
So rewind it about 10 seconds. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. As you were saying.
So from there, once it became legal, I was, really willing to put myself full time into it and, place my body and my business and things into it. And along the way, in these time travels, I have built relationships with some of the most incredible people on earth, some of the most ingenious people on earth, some of the most creative people on earth. And so Green Homes was designed to help those who didn't have the finances or didn't have the capability or the background or structure to not miss out on the opportunity of being legal, because the foundation of this industry was the backbone of the guys who built this industry, the guys who took the risks, the guys
sacrificed
who
their families, their lives,
their ass, the guys who got robbed, the guys who got arrested. This industry shouldn't be for guys who could just pop up with a bunch of money and try to do it. And so for me, the passion is being able to migrate those from traditional into the adult use. And so, that was been a joy, has been able to bring along some of the guys who would have never crossed over into the light.
Now, when you're bringing people from our traditional market, and that's what everyone's calling it now, I'm still getting used to calling it that, and bringing it into the white market now, what are some of the challenges you see bringing the professionalism with the culture, and seeing the clash that we inevitably see at what's going on right now with the clash of cultures?
For me, just peripherally, the transition is easy because the guys from traditional are going to be the real winners. Those are going to be the companies that are going to be the most successful, the most seasoned, the most respected, the most passion for the plant, the ones who care the most about their craft. So first and foremost, those are the people I tend to gravitate to. Second, now they merge into the white market, and the white market isn't stable. So it's been a very, very trying, difficult, and costly transition because of the bottleneck in retail, because the market is so volatile between supply and demand consistently. There are multiple pieces of a puzzle in order for you to go from that seed to the final sale, and a multitude of licenses, and a multitude of taxation, a multitude of compliance.
And so many people are trying to cut corners, and they're getting called out on it. I mean, the days of doing things the hustler way and cutting corners and blacking out the window, you can't do that shit anymore.
And the hardest thing for them is they got a bag, they trade you a bag, and the game is over. That was done.
That was the whole concept.
They don't understand how long and arduous and meticulous every single inch of this thing is. I mean, California has over-regulated this thing to the point to, force people to do things that they shouldn't in order just to survive. Mm-hmm. And so you see a lot of people in this industry who just, by force are being forced to
having to make tough decisions, and those decisions are costing people everything in this market. And a lot of this, let's be honest, it wasn't built for success for for equity license holders, for basically anyone that's trying to get into this, whether you're minority or you have an investor. It's built against you. They've got the people working with one hand tied behind their back.
Correct. Property values through the roof, rents go through the roof. The slightest mistake and you lose $1 million crop. And when I've never seen a project that was, under budgeted, needed like they had reserved money. I mean, over budgeted. Once first you've got to have a superior product, and then it's got to be superiorly marketed. Then you have to have an incredible sales team, and then a badass distribution if you're self-distributing. Then you've got retailers. I mean, these retailers asking us to pay them to be on their
to do shelf space. Paying to have shelf space. It blows my mind. If you were to try to pull this shit in the medical market, that would have ran you out of the freaking industry.
And it's factual. Like we've been in to, show them our product, and they're like, we'll put you on, but we want X amount a month. And for me, just out of pure ethics, I want to win based upon our product, our marketing, and everything we do behind it, and not feel I got to pay. But when you're one of these publicly traded companies, or when you have institutional lenders, or when you have this, crazy funding, they'll do that. But that's not building a brand and brand value and having a connection to your consumer and doing events and a big part of everything we've done has been events. I mean, we produced, you've been involved, produced, or had a hand in over 30, 40 major events. So the special events have just been that connection to the patient, to your product, and it was just a direct love. It was, a project of love and not a project of money, because the money will always follow once you believe and love what you're doing.
Well, with so many Chads entering the industry and so many people running the shops on a level to where they're not listening to the consumers, the consumers are really the ones that should be stocking the shelves. I come from the hydro industry where we don't have the luxury of just cramming anything down someone's throat. There are like 10 major brands. If you're not buying them, you're not buying products. But you see with so many of these,
cheaters. You call them cheaters because they're manipulating the market to get in. How important is it to market the culture versus the versus the profit? What takes precedent over marketing at all costs or protecting the culture?
I believe that this plant has magical powers, and I say this not in a hippie way. I feel that this plant is an equalizer. The plant determines whether or not you're true to it, whether or not you're honest with it, whether or not you're giving back to it. And I see these major companies just failing miserably, and they will continue to fail because they're too big, they're overbloated. It's going to cost them so much money to turn a profit, and that plant knows that you're in it for the money. And only the lean, caring, cultured companies, I think, are going to have a tremendous amount of success. That's just my feeling. And you see it by the major levels of stocks, because these guys are not spending their own money, and they didn't go out like we do and get guys who've been in it and are cultured and know what they're doing and have been through the fucking handcuffs to guide you. They take your SOPs and they kick you to the curb. And those companies who don't want to pay the guys who paved the way, like, I pay homage to not just like the guys who paved the way. I take it back to the Jack Herrera days and the Captain Eds and
the dudes that wrote the book,
like
not just really paved the way. Yeah.
Ed Rosenthal and these guys who really done it. I mean, if those are the guys, and it's these brands that had their heart and soul. Guys like Beard Bros, or guys who put it in, who deserve to have that success.
You think about some of the best growers in the beginning of this shit when the whole thing went legal, and they got with companies and they were chewed up and spit out. And people hate the industry right now on that side of it, who've been chewed up and spit out. You being a professional, an advocate, a soul searcher for the plant, how do you not get burnt out in this industry with so much fucktardness going on everywhere?
I walk into a meeting and I look at the guy who's sitting across from me and I say, nowadays, at what point that guy's going to fuck me? I no longer think,
just walk in knowing it's going to end bad.
We're going to have success. I only go, okay, at some point this guy's going to fuck me over. So the question is when, So that's how it is. It's heartbreaking because, there's not that family unity. I mean, that like the old 215 days, bro. I mean, it was a unity to it. I mean, we were one. I come from an old school rave scene. I was involved in the early electronic dance music, and it reminded me of those days where we had old school underground raves versus when you would see Tiesto at Tao in Las Vegas. There were just two different worlds going on, and so you knew some people were there for the culture, for the music, for the vibe, for the energy and everything it brought. And then there was guys there who were there for the fucking, blow in the bathrooms and
the party chads.
Yeah. So
they're still in this industry. The party chads haven't gone. They just change cultures.
Yeah, it's exactly it.
So let me ask you this: what's more dangerous, a uncultured chad with a lot of money coming in this industry, or a grower with an unlimited budget who thinks he knows everything?
Yeah, no, I get those guys.
Just on your take, there's no wrong answer.
As an attorney, I used to work with some of the best. Mark Garagos, Jim Blatt, Chris Darden. I worked with some of the best, and I sat there quiet and I listened to learn everything that I could from them. They were OGs. They fought 100 murder cases. With the growers, I'm always blown away at how little they want to learn, how little they want to adapt, how little they want to sink their teeth into additional knowledge. That's why I love the guys at White Angel, because they are like true OGs, true to the plant. Like, they put their heart and soul in every plant. Like, they have a funeral when they gotta, decide to kill a plant because it's not doing well. Like, literally, So you know the guys who are about it because they put themselves out there. They wear, their
They live the
on
industry.
their
They breathe the
shoulders.
industry. They have an opinion on the industry. They're not just here, as you mentioned, to milk it for the money.
No, but I mean, as someone who wants to learn from the next guy, I mean, the guys who sit in my rooms discuss things openly and want to push each other. I mean, I'm like a cheerleader for all the companies, like
I want everyone to
Angel,
win. I want them
Vertical
all to win.
Boys,
Yeah.
the Golden State Banana guys, the Nameless guys, the Lemon Tree guys. I mean, these dudes they're all beard bros, Bud Father. These Hush. These are all my guys, man. I want to see them all win. That's why I support the shit out of them. I support all of them. I love them all. I love all the dudes.
It really is a culture, and shout out to all those guys. We do the news, all our beard bros news. That's everything, and it's featured. And shout out to Bud Father and everybody you named down, doing it for the right reasons. But there are a lot of bad apples out there, and there are a lot of people that got to get called out on their shit. And up until recently, there wasn't a platform to where you could go and get actual factual knowledge about who to fuck with and who not to fuck with. And you got a relationship with the folks over there at Blacklist, and they're doing some big things over there. You want to talk about that for a minute too?
Sure. I mean, it started essentially as a platform because their group, had gotten burned in a sense, and essentially it was just supposed to be a website launch so that other people don't get burned. And as IG started to expand, it seems like that IG became more of the platform, and so the guys over there started, really working hard on being able to provide true blue information because there was no more of an informational outlet. You couldn't call, certain magazines like truly informational because they're a business model.
And they're trying to make money, right?
And
They've got
they're trying to
partnerships
make money
and
and they're trying to sell
advertisements.
ads, and they can't go out there putting people on blast when they're trying to sell advertisement space and things of that nature. And they have a place for them. I mean, we still need them. But this was designed to be a nonprofit situation that really provided, true blue information. And because it was true to its core and it, it stayed on the cutting edge, it expanded. And so there's going to be some expansion onto a TV show, which is not going to be the Blacklist model, but it will be more towards helping build those companies up.
And educate people on the product and the correct way to, infuse and dose and stuff like that. That's really what the community
Not just
needs.
that, but at Blacklist, we will, there'll be information that will come in, and there's no follow-up secondary interview. So you only get one side, whether it was an arrest or a raid or, someone got shut down by the BCC. You never are able to get the other side of the story. And so hopefully there's going to be development of a platform that will take on interviews similar to a method like people, more of like a CNN, where we will interview people or when there is a crisis or be able to send a reporter out to a scene of a grow or to talk to the sheriffs or to provide inside information on that real ground level basis.
Now,
so I think they've been an incredible platform and an addition to the community.
With an amazing platform like that comes amazing responsibilities, right? They have the power to launch and destroy brands.
It's true.
With people in that big of power in this industry end up getting a lot of eyes on them. How does the Blacklist and companies like that who want to do things for the right reason and promote the right brands while taking down the bad ones do their part to not destroy or do harm, as you would say? How is that taken into consideration? Because I'm sure it must be a really complicated situation. Who do you go after? Who do you call out? Who do you stay away from?
All of this is user-based. So the way the protections are is that information comes into the Blacklist. Now, I'm not the Blacklist for the record. I'm an attorney who helped them at its early stages and, protected them through the legal phase of things. But I have a very, very close relationship with them. And so it's user content based. I mean, they're not going out there sending out investigators to find out who's robbing who. This information comes in and it's vetted out and then it's released based upon, whatever system that they decide is deemed a credible source.
And I mean,
And it has
people
had
have
some
saved a
bad
lot of people's
ramifications.
asses with this fight. I mean, people have been
Yeah, it's
able to
saved
see
out
the
the
right way to
traffic.
do
It's hurt
business.
a lot of people. And it's helped clean up the industry because a lot of people are scared not to go on a blacklist.
You don't want to
You know
be
what
on
I
the
mean?
blacklist. That's a bad look
It's
for you.
like you don't do a deal. Some people don't drink and drive because they don't want to get pulled over. But they would drink and drive if there was no cops. Well, someone's going to get hurt when you're drinking and driving. So essentially the blacklist, is, people submit information. This guy robbed me. Here's the pictures. Here's what he looks like. And so they want to, their quote is help clean up the community. And that's what they've done. And I think they've done a good job at it.
Amen. Yeah, unique place to call people and get the right information you need in the right place. Now, let's talk about a little bit about your attorney background and how you made the transition from justice.
My college thesis on the legalization of cannabis in 1999, so I had a mindset and framework on that level. Unfortunately for me, I've always been on a pursuit of justice. So this is why I didn't take on a big time, position at some big law firm, doing some things, representing clients that I, probably wouldn't support in real life. I've been a justice fighter as a criminal defense attorney, making sure that people's rights have always been protected. And that may not have come to me in the greatest of financial situations because I would just be out there, doing what I think is right. And so I've always followed my heart instead of my pockets.
And that's what
So
makes you an advocate,
transition into
man.
cannabis the transition into cannabis was something that I truly believed in because, what I've seen was just a complete injustice. It's like, one, we are depriving those with serious medical conditions safe access to something that can save their life. So if you don't believe in that, okay, the government then is putting people in jail or having people have a criminal conviction for something that they chose to do. You must understand this, is you could have been a kid from the inner city, busted his ass, lifted weights every day, ran every day, made sure you're the number one athlete, get into a school like USC, go to your first party, and all the people are drunk off their ass, throwing up, fucked up, and you decide to take a hit of a joint, you lose your scholarship, and they're considered heroes. Think about this in the NFL and in the NBA. Do you know what it took when I entered this? I had targeted all the professional sports to help them change their rules. Do you know what it's like to see the NBA or the NFL or MLB decide not to test for cannabis? We're going to target the PGA next. And that sounds crazy. We're working on some incredible things to just target all professional sports. We never said legalize it. We never said promote it. We never said advocate. We just said don't test for it. Just like you don't test for other things, there would no harm, no foul. I know professional athletes. One of them, 7 NBA rings. I'm not going to say no name, but he supported the number one basketball player in history, took him to multiple championships. Everyone, to have a 20-year career like that and never take a pain pill at all and smoked in every single championship. And the NBA knew that they weren't going to fuck with him because he was too valuable. And to this day, he's the healthiest of all. No addiction, no pain pills, nothing. Never took nothing. Took a little bit of cannabis and things were
And
good.
I think this is the future of sports medicine. This is the future of healing. This is the future of being able to choose what you put in your body instead of being told how you need to deal with your emotions, spirit, depression, and whatnot. So we're in a unique world right now, unique time in society. As you mentioned, I never thought I would see the day that football players could use cannabis and not have to worry about it, let alone, the NBA. And now it seems like MLB's not far behind. So it's a huge step in the right direction. But how do we get them to embrace it like the rest of the nation? How do we get the rest of the nation to embrace that and follow that example and see how normalized it really is?
And it's getting more and more normalized. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how old you are. I may be a little older than you, but back in the day, if someone smoked pot, bro, they're an outcast or a drug addict and all. It's been normalized more and more and more. I mean, I saw Colgate with hemp. You know what I mean? You see Sephora makeup with CBD, and you just see it being integrated more and more and normalized. It's also generational. You know, my dad's parents' generation came from a different world where it was demonized. My dad and company is product of the 60s, and they, you know, everyone smoked pot, and they know it's not as bad as it was placed into society and politicized and demonized. And as that generation moves on, this newer generation knows how dangerous alcohol is versus cannabis. I mean, these millennials and Generation X, you couldn't show them any video to convince them that pot.
The more you told us, the more we wanted to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they know the difference between prescription pills, between alcohol, and between cannabis. My parents, all the doctor got to do is write them a prescription, they'll take it. They won't research it, they won't do nothing. Those are the same generation that gave them cigarettes, the same generation that gave them processed frozen food, the same generation that filled their cereals with sugar. So this new generation, you give them a prescription and they spend 4 days researching it, talking to other people, getting second opinions. Where if I go to my mom and I say, here's some CBD, it's like, oh my God, what are you trying to do, kill me? And I'm like, look at the pills you're on. Look what the doctor's prescribing you. So it's just a generational thing, and it's eventually going to be normalized. People are going to laugh just like people laugh now about 1920s where we had prohibition and you'd go to jail if there was liquor and they would break your bottles and handcuff you. Do you know that 20 million Americans since the 1960s have been arrested and convicted for simple possession of cannabis? Can you understand the magnitude of those people being convicted, denied jobs, denied school opportunities, denied government opportunities,
going to the military,
officer, everything. So you know, it's been victimized because, you know, it goes back to the Marijuana Tax Act, then to the war on drugs with Richard Nixon trying to politicize the hippie movement versus the Vietnam War movement, scheduling it as a Schedule 1, which said there's no medicinal benefits and high levels.
And you look at that in contrast to how they released CBD in a wave. It was just, we woke up one day and CBD wasn't Schedule 1 anymore, you know? And you look at how this was rolled out in the 60 freaking years of anti-cannabis, and it's a hypocrisy, really.
Well, it was real simple. The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, is a senator in Kentucky who had severe agricultural hemorrhages because people stopped smoking cigarettes. And so, boom, he passed the agricultural bill single-handedly to help his farmers, not to give you CBD, not to help kids with pediatric epilepsy, not to stop.
They don't want us to be healthy. They don't want us to have to not eat their pills.
Listen. The reason cannabis is so important, it's not simply because it's a hypothetical that it saves all these ailments. The body has a built-in endocannabinoid system. That endocannabinoid system was built in through evolution of man. That means man had access in its caveman era to cannabis.
It's built into us. We're pre-wired for it.
It wired up for it. It didn't wire for aspirin or heroin or opiates. And so clearly humans in its infancy had access or was around cannabis to build these receptors. And so when it's taken away out of our diet, not through evolution, but through politicization or through criminal acts, it's removed from our body. This is why when we reintroduce it, it has all these incredible medicinal benefits because it should have never been taken out of our human body.
And now we're finally starting to see people be healthy and society think freely. And look at what happened this year with this movement, with the social injustice and against police brutality. I mean, you can tie that all in with people thinking healthier, people wanting change, people saying, no, we can't live like this anymore. And you know what? If you're not mad right now, people should be fucking mad. And if it's not mad about police brutality, you should be mad about the government. And if you're not mad about the government, you should be pissed off about the weed situation. This is the time not to be quiet.
It's the same anger our forefathers had when they decided to have the British Revolution. This is the same fights that our forefathers who created this Constitution had. This is the same fights of the Civil War. When we as Americans have a free society and we are founded by justice, then we revolt upon oppression. And this is what we are seeing as our natural ability to revolt. We've done it in the 60s. We've done it in the 1800s. We've done it in 1776. And we will continue to do so to build a more perfect union, especially the type of tyranny and government that we currently have. It's a bottle buildup. Cops, listen, I'm a criminal defense attorney. I've sat in rooms with DAs and cops where I'm like, you're purely just fucking this guy for a criminal conviction. Like, it wasn't about justice. It wasn't about protecting society. I have had, and that bittered me. I mean, after 15 years, I was bitter at the justice system because it was designed to catch people, do something, and force people to. It's like, why are you doing this to get this person who doesn't deserve this, the situation they're in? It wasn't a situation that the person created. It was a situation that you created and forced them into it. So it was a gateway drug for cops to get into your car, to get into your pockets, and put fucking handcuffs on you. That was the only gateway. It was a gateway for the cops. I smell weed. I don't have weed. Step out the car. Boom. Shit's flying off. Weed has led to more fucking problems by its scent than anything. And also, all cops got to do is say, I smell weed.
Give him the speech. Give him the speech, because you know how to tell someone to exactly how to talk themselves out of that situation. And I mean, it goes back to, knowing your fucking rights. But for anybody listening, and they get messed with, what's the speech when they come to you and they try to give you the pullover talk?
Well, I'm gonna have to quote my brothers from the Pop Brothers. You know what I mean? Who I'm very, very proud of on what they've done and accomplished. But, if you listen to the Pop Brothers, they'll tell you exactly what you need to say. The bottom line is this, is that you have a Fourth Amendment fundamental right against search and seizure. Okay, what does that mean? Essentially, a cop needs probable cause to search a vehicle. The only reason why a cop would ask you questions or ask for consent is because he did not have probable cause. Because if he had probable cause, he wouldn't ask you.
And smoke no longer works anymore.
The bottom line. Second, the smell of cannabis in and of itself isn't sufficient to justify a search and seizure. The reason the cop is asking to search is because he doesn't have probable cause to search. Because once again, if he had probable cause, he wouldn't be asking to search. So the bottom line, when someone asks for consent to search, the answer is no. Guess what I always tell people and tell cops? Tell the cop this. You know what? The last time I gave you consent to, because everybody's like, well, if I say no, then they're going to think I have something to hide.
Right,
Tell them this. The last time I let you guys search, you ripped my whole car apart. It cost me about $2,000, and you guys never paid the fucking bill because you broke a bunch of shit in my car. So guess what? I learned my lesson once. I ain't got shit in my car, and I don't want you to break my shit because I know you're not going to pay for it when you break it. Now they're thinking, oh, that's your reason. Not that I'm hiding something, but I sent you guys a fucking bill. They said I didn't file a claim on time, and next thing you know, you guys broke all my fucking, you ripped the fucking thing and all that shit, bro. I've already learned my lesson. Now you don't have to go that far, but sometimes people get nervous and say, well, if I say no, they're going to think I have something.
That's a huge reasoning.
Why you don't want them in your car.
That's it. You got to think smarter because they're trying to play the fox, and you can't.
It's all a fucking game, and they're never here to help you. When they say if you just cooperate, I'm going to be easy on you. No, they're not. They're
not there to be friendly.
A cop can legally say anything he wants, mislead to you, lie to you, do anything he wants in order for you to say, make a statement, or agree to do something. The case law, the Supreme Court has ruled a cop can lie to you. I can tell you this. I don't care if I find a dead body in your trunk. If you let me in your car and I find a dead body, I'm going to let you go. He can say that and still arrest you. You know what I mean? So the cops are not your friend. They're not trying to help you. I'm trying to help you. No, he's not. If you're trying to help me, to give me my motherfucking keys and let me get the fuck out of my way. If you want to help me,
pull me over for a tail light
by searching my car. And you can't go talk to I'll let the DA know you cooperated. No, I've never fucking seen in the police report he cooperated. He was calm. He let me search the car. So whatever judge you were gonna do, go ahead and give him half of that. Never seen it.
Like that shit's gonna happen.
I never seen it. I've never seen it. So when they say they are, Look at the cops aren't there to help you. And this is what the justice is about. This is what the whole uproar is. Shouldn't law enforcement protect and serve? They're not. I mean, they I don't want to say they don't all the time, but it seemed like the real true nature of them is to find a fucking reason. That's why they sit and they hide in, to pull
They
your
cheat.
ass over.
They cheat. Yeah, they have to cheat to catch you doing things, because if they just let you be a fucking normal human, they couldn't call you on it. But they gotta fucking false tap your phone. They gotta fucking make people snitch. They gotta use fake evidence. Exactly. Dude, I mean, it goes on and on.
How many times, just be there when something happens. Don't make shit happen. Don't make cases on people. Don't get snitches to call another snitch and go through his phone. That's not protecting and serving. That's building a criminal justice system that costs trillions of dollars, and that money is valuable to the jails, to the police officer, to everything. And so it's a criminal justice financial complex, just like the military industrial complex. It's purely designed to create havoc. It really is.
To divide it.
I've done a lot of domestic violence cases, and sometimes a wife just wants someone to come because the husband had too many drinks and he's being fucking aggressive, and sometimes she just wants a little bit of help, but she can't call because she knows he's gonna get arrested, she's gonna have to bail him out, he's gonna catch a case, shit's all fucked up. Wouldn't it be nice to say, hey, I want a level 1 mediator to come and talk to my husband, maybe take him for a walk, maybe have him come and have him go to his sister's house one night, instead of every time the cops come, boom, someone's getting arrested, someone's doing a 1-year
someone gets shot in the street
program. I've never had the cops, if my wife just wanted someone to come and talk to me, it's not going to happen. Or talk to my son. My son is 15, he's being an asshole, whatever. There is no other service. It's either gun, badge, and fuck you, or don't call us.
So when they say defund the police, they're saying put that money into better sources.
Yeah.
Put that money into social.
Maybe there should be a mental health expert. Maybe there should be a truancy expert. Maybe there is a domestic violence counselor instead of sending a cop.
Instead of another fucking
something else.
Military vehicle for the police. Instead another fucking rocket launcher.
Correct.
Man, you open the eyes out there on DFZ radio. This has been a great opportunity for people to jump in. We had a question. Did he hang up? He's still there?
Bring him up.
All right. But I tell you what, the next caller is going to win a Magic Butter machine, courtesy of the good folks over at Magic Butter and our friends over at Green Holdings and Freddie himself. All right. But so the next caller, you're getting hooked up. But while we're here, I got to have you go into some of these awesome first-in-class products by White Angel.
Oh, yeah. So, what I love about my guys is that they just grow the most incredible weed. The last White Angel original just came out at 32%. And I know it's not all about THC levels, but it came out at 40% total cannabinoids. It's one of the most incredible strains and well-grown plant. It has that old White Widow flavor to it and smell that's just that fucking original.
That muskiness.
Gas of the OG. They're dropping their own pheno of the Extreme Cream, which is fucking through the roof. They're dropping a red raspberry cheesecake on an exotic. I've never seen anything so beautiful in my life. They're dropping the Orange Angel cake, which is a collab from Sea Junkies, who I think are probably the greatest breeders ever known to man.
Those guys are top shelf all the way.
Yeah. So, they just really finicky on what they put out. And it's nice because I have to stand behind a product. And I'm so fucking proud when I rock their gear, when I show people our flower, when I'm there with at the events. And I know when I open that jar, bro, I just know that I'm going to feel proud. I'm not going to have to make an excuse that it was a fucked up cure.
Some fucking grower this.
And what I've noticed about legal weed, it doesn't have the smell. It doesn't have that fucking deliciousness. And the beauty about what they do is it's just fucking delicious. And I'm going to bring it to you myself. Like, listen, I'll tell everybody, look at, try it for yourself. Money back guarantee. Money back guarantee. Who would do that?
How many grows can say that?
Seriously, like, once you try it, you're going to be like, it's just a huge fan. And there's a lot of great growers out there. And I support them all. And you know them when they're there. Like, you know it when you open that jar. It's just,
Well, here's how I know
somehow a
your
lot of
shit's the
this
top shelf,
people
because
grow on a level
you
that
throw
it just,
events too.
yeah, oh yeah, the events.
And so when you do the events, they aren't just like regular people showing up. I'm seeing growers of the growers at
Oh
these
yeah.
grow events. These aren't
Yeah.
Chads. These aren't Chads showing up to attend these events. I mean, you got some high class shit. And I mean, first time I'd ever seen a Too Short perform in concert was at one of your events, man.
Like, yeah, and that's another thing. I mean, the Too Short sticks. It's a really like that's a you know that
So
was
you
a
got the
passion
collab
project.
with Too Short.
Yeah, it's a
Look at
passion
that Too Short
project.
collaboration.
Everything is fine insignia, and it's just pure straight up White Angel gas. Like, I was like, celebrity brands don't do well, and pre-rolls don't do well.
Yeah,
like,
right. Because
I'm gonna go
celebrities don't know
after-
what they're getting into, right?
Well, no, because it's just like it was a money play, and I make sure that, you know, that is just fire. It's like, honestly, why wouldn't you want to put fire in it? Because I'm the grower. Like, we grow this. We put 100%. If you notice that White Angel was bright. This way, we are proud of that.
This isn't sourcing your own cannabis. This is growing your own product.
It's not only we run White Angel, but we got one of the fucking baddest extractors on earth. This is one of the Green Holy partnership with Bad Wizard and Cannabis Co. One of the best edible and syrup maker, Dream On. The best in solventless Mad River Melts.
Hydro Chef approved.
Yeah, Doinks, which is the Seshies. Man, I just love our team because everyone on it has been a 215 fucking trooper, and they're just about it. You know what I mean? They're just about it. They're just all about it. They're all about that quality, bro.
And then what do you think of this current state of the culture, man? Like, everybody, you can feel the positivity in this industry right now, because like everybody knows that we're almost through this bullshit with the start of this program. Like, they're going to have to get their shit together. California's going to have to come to the table. They're going to have to rewrite these fucking laws and make it easier for people to do business. So you can feel the positivity in this industry right now.
The positivity is the price of weed went up. That's the positivity.
And the black market's doing well again.
I'm talking to all the growers, and they smiling. 6 months ago, bro, they were crying. They were getting 13, 15. So, you know,
people growing with LEDs now, selling or saving 30% more power, making 1,000 more pounds.
We went with LEDs on Jump Street, but we worked closely in developing a product with Spectrum King. And this don't look like your mom's LED. These are full-blown, full spectrum, beautiful things, and we can control the spectrum. We can control everything about it. And
well, it's about having full control when you're doing your grow. I mean, if you're a grower and you have full control of your environment, your lighting, your nutrients, your genetics, then you're going to be able to put that white fire true product out.
I will put our product against any HPS product. First off, we're hitting 32% THC. You know what I mean? So right off the jump, you know, don't say that you can't produce out of it. When you see what comes out of White Angel Farms, it just blows you away. I mean, our lights are 10 times brighter than the HPS. They're running them at 30, 40%. They're not even at full capacity. And you can say 30%. I would say our electric bill is 20% the cost of any neighbor we got.
It's the year of the LED. If you heard it here first from Freddie Green Holdings Group, if you're not using LEDs, you're just throwing away your money.
It's got to be the right LED, and you gotta
do your research.
Your room. You know what I mean? You gotta dial it in. You gotta understand them. You gotta take some hits and certain strains don't do well under them. So it is a trial and error. But once you got the right LED, not these flat panel blue and red, those are old school.
No purple lighting from China.
No. I'm talking about full blown big ass lights that blow out a whole room that you can control on all level.
You heard it here first from Freddie. Now, look, before we go, is there anybody you want to give a shout out to? You've been a super gracious guest. You've been lacing our tennis shoes, educating us. You're a true advocate, a real straight up good dude. So, I mean, what can we do to help you give a shout out to anyone before you leave?
I have too many friends in this business to start naming some. But shout out to the Vertical Boys. Those Vertical Boys are incredible. Those are my dudes. Shout out to everybody at White Angel Farm, Dream On, Cannabis Co., Zach from Bad Wizard. Shout out to the Blacklist. Shout out to all of them. I mean, all of you guys. You guys know where my heart is. Buff Father, Beard Bros, Hungry Monkey Company, all these Sensi magazine. These are my people.
Doing
Shout
it
out
all for the right reasons.
all you guys. Shout out to the Hydroponic Chef. Shout out to the Dulce guys. Shout out to Rory. Shout out to the Roll Up Show. Those are my main partners.
That was the best shots I've ever
bro.
seen. This guy covered the whole book.
Yeah, bro.
So,
Love 'em
man,
all.
we appreciate you coming out here and giving us some time to talk.